Good morning, afternoon, Mrs. Retno, and everyone. My name is Ahsin Aksat. In the next few minutes, I will be presenting my analysis on the topic the high praise of the ketogenic diet. We won't be discussing if this diet can cause weight loss. We know it can. Instead, we will analyze whether this diet is good for us, with a primary focus on its long-term risk. So, to begin, let's make sure we are all on the same page about what this diet actually is. Okay, so what exactly is the ketogenic diet? As we can see on the slide, it's very specific eating plan. It is very high in fat and very low in carbohydrates. Its purpose is to force the body into metabolic state called ketosis. In this state, the body stops using glucose as its main fuel and instead start burning fat for energy. Now, this speed is popularity for rapid weight loss. My thesis is that the keto diet is for long-term strategy for our health. Why do I come to this conclusion? My argument focus on three major drawbacks. This slide is our roadmap for the presentation. The three major drawbacks we will discuss are first, and perhaps the most pertinent issue, is its lack of sustainability. Second, which is critical for us nutrition students, is the risk of nutrient deficiencies. And third, we will look at the detrimental side effects. Let's begin by breaking down the first point, sustainability. The biggest argument against the keto diet is that is extremely unsustainable in the real world. Why? Because it is highly restrictive. It demands the elimination of staple foods that are central to our culture, food like rice, bread, noodles, and even many fruits. This makes normal social activities like eating out hour or family gatherings very difficult. As a result, the adherence rates or the dropout rate is famously high. And the final outcome, as confirmed by the review from Masud et al., this weight loss is not sustained over the long run. This is what we all know as the yo-yo effect. But this is not just a problem of inconvenience. The severe restriction lead us to a much more serious clinical issue, which is the risk of nutrient deficiency. When we eliminate entire food groups like the fruits, grains, and legumes, we are not just cutting our carbohydrates. We are also cutting out the essential nutrient they contain. A clinical review by O'Neill and Reggie explicitly warns that this diet can lead to an inadequate intake of vitamins, mineral, and phytochemicals. And perhaps most critically, it results a significant lack of dietary fiber, which is absolutely vital or digestive health. Beyond the specific nutrition gaps, there are also active risks of the detrimental side effects. Okay. Next, let's discuss the side effects. We can divide this into two categories, short terms and long term. In the short term, many new users experience the keto flu. This is a collection of symptoms like fatigue, itches, and nausea as the body struggles to adapt to each new fuel source. However, what is more concerning are the long-term risks. As reported by Diana and Atmaka, a poorly managed high fat diet can negatively impact cholesterol level and has been linked to an increased series of kidney stones. These are not minor side effects. You know, all of these points, this immune sustainability, the nutritional deficiencies, and the side effects led us to one clear conclusion. In conclusion, the short term benefit of the keto diet is completely overshadowed by its long term risk. As emphasized in my essay, and I quote here, as a future sorry, as a future nutrition professional, it is more responsible to promote balanced and sustainable approaches rather than one of extreme restriction as the superior path to long-term health. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention. On the screen, you will see the three primary references I use for the analysis. I will now pass it back to Mrs. Wright.